welcome to this free training video series. My name is Natalia PH. I'm the creator and founder of Mindset Academy. What is the purpose of Mindset Academy? Well, we have created it to teach you how to convince and focus your mind to cooperate in harmony with your heart so that you can become happier, healthier, and wealthier. There are so many law of attractions programs out there focusing on wealth, money, and financial aspects, but they forget the most crucial thing, happiness. And in Mindset Academy, we say the purpose of life is the expansion of happiness. How many people do you know of that have it all, but yet they are miserable? Think some celebrities. How about truly having it all? Health, wealth, and happiness. That's what we teach at Mindset Academy. Have you ever wanted something really badly? I don't know, maybe you wanted to become a musician, and every time that your desire appeared, you felt these powerful, uplifting vibes in your heart, and it felt absolutely amazing. Then your mind started whispering, no, you can't do that. This wouldn't be okay with your parents. You weren't sure if you could make money, and so that chatter continued successfully discouraging you, and you ended up settling. Sounds familiar? There are millions of stories like that. I can tell you one of mine, when I decided to study law while my dream was to teach people how to create a happy life. I have always felt that the purpose of life simply is the expansion of happiness, and that human mind, call it ego, complicates everything. Typically, my mind took over, and I did go to law school. However, very soon my heart literally started suffering, and I withdrew. I decided to pursue a different path. I didn't get it right for a few years, but I never let that desire die. That is why I'm talking to you today, and I couldn't be happier as I'm able to fulfill my purpose and serve you in realizing your dreams. Okay, so you get the picture. Your mind, as useful and wonderful as it can be, often is a great sabotager and works against you and your heart's, your soul's desires. For hundreds of years, our civilization was literally run by left brain hemisphere, while intuition, inner voice have been silenced, ignored, and often ridiculed. These are the facts, and now, look around you. What world are you living in? The egoic mind created weapons of mass destruction, led people to war, ego ruled during fascism, communism. Egoic actions kept on destroying our natural resources, killing the environment, ruthlessly slaughtering animals. And why? To quote Henry David Thoreau, while civilization has been improving our houses, it has not equally improved the men who are to inhabit them. And in consequence, we found ourselves in the world where fear took over our minds, endless crises, drama and despair everywhere. But because of this, we are finally getting ready as individuals to accept certain truths and adopt them in our everyday lives. The time has come for you to start to create healthier, happier, wealthier life. So what is the purpose of Mindset Academy? To help you follow your heart, convince your mind to play the ball. Mind can be a beautiful companion or a brutal opponent. Ask yourself now and be honest. Are you truly happy? Are you living the life as you imagined when you were a kid? Or did you give up on it and settled? Aren't you feeling at times as if you were possessed by your mind? Meaning you get these compulsive thoughts over and over again and nothing ever changes. So what is the solution? This can stop right now, and in this free video training series, I will guide you how to do that. For that to happen, your mind needs to get some scientific proof to conceive of it and literally agree to work together with your heart. Creating most powerful force in the universe, the power of belief, the most powerful combination of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. To quote one of the most famous New Thought teachers, Goddard Neville, there is a power inside every human against which no earthly forces is of the slightest consequence. In order for it to work and serve you, the three components, thought, feeling, and emotion, must be absolutely in sync with each other, and we will teach you how to do that. Let me tell you a story before I get to the science. In 2002, I was diagnosed with cancer. One of the doctors kindly announced that next 6 months of my life were to be struck out of my life, and the rest was a question mark. Being 26 at the time, young, energetic, successful, I certainly wasn't ready for such a challenge. I was getting ready to conquer the world, not to be at the hospital for months. I started asking, I would think, usual questions people ask in such moments. Is that it? Is there all there is to life? Was my purpose to come and go so quickly? I read about cancer and disease, and I knew that disease is nothing else but the body out of ease, and that we all have cancer cells within our system. That when negative energy accumulates and is not released, there can be cancer forming. I have always been a very optimistic person. When angry, I released immediately. I ate right. I didn't smoke. No. I simply refused to hear the doctor. I knew myself and I felt I wasn't sick. I had this strong, powerful feeling that I was okay. I knew doctors had found a tumor in my throat, so okay, something was there, but I decided not to call it cancer. I kept on thinking and generating enormous amounts of feelings and pictured myself as healthy, vibrant, energetic person and my body as a sea of cells where energy just floats smoothly. Of course, big mouth that I was, I shared this with my oncologist and he kept on going on how sick I was and there was no way I was okay. My parents decided to call in bioenergotherapist. He could sense the energy field of the body. He checked me, confirmed what I thought, that I was okay. He said that we all do have cancer cells, but if there are no energy blocks, energy just flows. Nevertheless, the doctors wanted to operate and remove the tumor from my throat. We thought, okay, sometimes you need to remove your tooth or inflamed tonsils, so let's do it. While I was being operated under local anesthesia, a group of doctors came in with some trainees, I would think, and started commenting as if I wasn't even there. Oh, such a pretty girl, so young. What a shame. It's helpless. I was stunned because I could hear it all. And if I could have, I would have screamed. What do you think your reckless talk does to one's belief? In his amazing book, Anatomy of Illness, Norman Cousins explains the importance of cooperation between a doctor and a patient, and how crucial the doctor's reassurance and belief is in patient's healing process. My doctors lacked all of the above, and if it wasn't for my strong belief and the absolute belief of my parents, I don't dare to think what could have happened. The tumor had been removed. Doctors had plans for chemo, and I remember the day just before Christmas. My parents got a phone call from one of the head doctors. He called, being absolutely embarrassed to admit that no cancer cells were found. He was in awe himself as things like this just didn't happen, saying that an error like that took place last time 35 years ago. Happy ending, but how come? I will shortly explain the science of belief. Before this experience, I had read many books written by Deepak Chopra, Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, and many others. I knew how to react in such situation, and what had happened only pushed me to research further. Knowing what I know now, and the science confirms it without a doubt, there is a field of energy, the field of all possibilities. In that field, which science calls now the matrix, all results and outcomes are possible. The crucial factor to achieve an outcome is the power of our belief system. In Mindset Academy, we are focusing on the algorithm of creation, and we are showing you what you think, feel, act, and get are all connected and enveloped in one field of it all. Empowered by that knowledge, you can be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Now a little introduction to the science so that your mind can digest it all. As a famous saying states, follow your heart, but take your mind with you. So let's take your mind for a ride and show it several facts so that harmonious cooperation can finally take place. All that I present here was found during my research to satisfy my own mind, as my heart already knew it. All of this is possible because there are people out there who also question status quo and look for the answers. I will be your guide into their discoveries and teach you how to practically apply the knowledge. Here is why and how. Here is the science behind the power of belief and the algorithm of creation.
The science behind the power of belief and the algorithm of creation. First of all, one thing needs to be understood, and that is we are all connected within one field of energy vibrating at different frequencies. Classical physics claimed that the space between things is empty. We know today that it was a false assumption. This is not a detailed scientific elaborate. I'm just going to give you a short overview of what is the fact today and what the science proved to be true. For more information, you are very welcome to go to Institute of Heart Math, Institute of Noetic Sciences, Global Coherence Initiative. I'm the member of these organizations, and if you are interested, go there and sign up. It's for free. The fact is that our universe, our world, our bodies are made of a shared field of energy. The science calls it a matrix. In 1867, James Clerk Maxwell formulated classical electromagnetic theory, announcing that there exists a field in our universe that can't be explained by Newton's physics theories. Maxwell and Michael Faraday's research led to the discovery of fields of energy that connects everything. In 1887, Albert Michelson and Edward Morley conducted their famous experiment to prove that the field that was often referred to as ether back then exists. Unfortunately, due to insufficiently sensitive equipment, the field was not detected, which set us back at least 100 years. So here's a good moment to ask a question. What is science anyway? A common definition of science tells us it's a systematic enterprise that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable explanations and predictions about the universe. Science is just another language to explain the existence of the universe. Ancient cultures actually knew for thousands of years that there exists a field that connects all things, in one form or another. Hopi Indians told a story about Spider Grandmother who weaved the web so that we could all be connected. The Buddhist tradition told us about God Indra who weaved the web so that the universe stayed connected. I find it really fascinating that our Western civilization had to wait until the time of Internet and World Wide Web to get truly connected and exchange such information freely. So going back to the science, if we can't see things, does it mean they don't exist? The science as we know it is only 300 years old. So how did we actually function before? It is estimated that the fire of the Library of Alexandria set Western civilization back by about 1,500 years. Our minds need proof to grasp things. We don't understand what our hearts already know. What is called our intuition, the tuition from within, is often ignored. We choose to ignore certain things as our mind doesn't understand them. But if we don't see air, does it mean it doesn't exist? Well, these times are behind, and science did make a huge leap forward, catching up with the ancients. In 1986, American Air Force replicated Michelson-Morley experiment, and the outcome now was the opposite. This time, the field was detected. Having much better equipment, they were able to detect it, and the results have been published in the Nature magazine, changing the entire outlook at the science as we know it. Isn't it strange that it's not a common knowledge? Why most of us still think we are not energetically connected? It is not a popular knowledge, as scientific careers have been built on the wrong assumption. In fact, the whole science would have to be rewritten. And if we are indeed all connected, that means we are all equal. So what are we fighting for? What are we fighting about, right? In 1999, NASA built a satellite called Chandra. It was to measure the field that can't be seen with our eyes. And for the first time, the images of the field that connects everything have been shown. The field looks like a network of filaments and is very, very similar to the neural network of our brain. So what is that field of energy that connects us all? An electromagnetic field. It is a physical field produced by moving electrically charged objects. It affects the behavior of charged objects in the vicinity of the field. The electromagnetic field extends indefinitely throughout space and describes the electromagnetic interaction. It is one of the 4 fundamental forces of nature. The others are gravitation, the weak interaction, and the strong interaction. How does the field function? There must be a force that governs it all, and we must be connected to that force. It must be within us. In 1944, Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, the winner of the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1918, considered to be the founder of quantum theory, said this: "There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particle of an atom to vibration and holds this most minute solar system of the atom together. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter." And Max Planck said this about consciousness. I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness. We cannot get behind consciousness. Everything that we talk about, everything that we regard as existing, postulates consciousness. Consciousness is creating our physical world. John Wheeler, Princeton physicist, Einstein contemporary, proposed a theory which now is widely accepted. He claimed that we are not only observers, we are participators. In some strange sense, this is a participatory universe. And the purpose of Mindset Academy, as you know, is to convince and focus your mind to play ball with your heart, meaning we want to teach you how to become conscious creators of your reality. What do I mean by that? A lot of people just think that life just happens and they don't have any influence on it. Well, here we will show you that in fact you do, and it is up to you to become energetically responsible for the energy you exude and receive. We are all enveloped in that field, and here is how we participate. Let me test you. I will tell you a little story, and it is a true story. Let's see how you're going to be feeling about it. Maybe some of you know, or some of you don't, that heart is the first organ that develops in our body. So here is the story. Heidi and Paul Jackson's twin girls, Brielle and Kyrie, were born on October 17, 1995, 12 weeks ahead of their due date. Standard hospital practice is to place preemie twins in separate incubators to reduce the risk of infection. That was done for the Jackson's girls in the neonatal intensive care unit at the Medical Center of Central Massachusetts in Worcester. Kyrie, the larger sister at 2 pounds 3 ounces, quickly began gaining weight and calmly sleeping her newborn days away. But Brielle, who weighed only 2 pounds at birth, couldn't keep up with her. She had breathing and heart rate problems. The oxygen level in her blood was low, and her weight gain was slow. Suddenly, on November 12th, Brielle went into critical condition. She began gasping for air, and her face and stick-thin arms and legs turned bluish-gray. Her heart rate was way up, and she got hiccups, a dangerous sign that her body was under stress. Her parents watched, terrified that she might die. Nurse Gail Kasparian tried everything she could to stabilize Brielle. Brielle squirmed and fast as her oxygen intake plummeted and her heart rate soared. Then Kasparian remembered that it was something that she heard from a colleague. It was a procedure common in parts of Europe but almost unheard in US. It called for double bedding multiple birth babies, especially preemies. Kasparian's nurse manager, Susan Fitzbeck, was away at the conference, and the arrangement was unorthodox. But Kasparian decided to take a risk and break the protocol. No sooner had the door of the incubator closed than Brielle snuggled up to Kyrie and calmed right down. Within minutes, Brielle's blood oxygen readings were the best they had been since she was born. As she dozed off, Kyrie wrapped her tiny arm around her smaller sibling and fell asleep. I mean, really? It has nothing to do with the mind. Babies don't exactly think much, do they? It was a pure intuitive action, and how did it make you feel? Did your mind take part in it, or did you just love it and felt this incredible, beautiful emotion of love in your heart?